Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and today I like to say we've won. We did it. ARK fans everywhere. I hope you guys are happy because we did it. We finally got our first underwater creature since the Pleurodon, which in all honesty is it's not a worthwhile tame. Trust me, just don't get it. I've actually tried to breed Pleurodons. It's just not worth it. So this one is called the Shastasaurus, which is a giant marine reptile. I think it's related to the ichthyosaur. And this is actually pretty good though. It's actually an underwater submarine dash battleship. Okay, its saddle can actually use harpoons. It can you could put tames on its back. And if there are rock golems on the or Velonosaurs on the center, right? Then oh gosh, this thing would be an absolute menace to actually it would actually be an unstoppable fortress. But the taming method is actually quite interesting. You actually you have to go out and tame ichthyosaurs, a good number of them, let's say around maybe three. I think three would do, one for you to ride and two of them to interact, and then you have to put them on wander, and the creature will come in, and the Shastasaurus will come and play with you because it's often lonely in the wild because it misses its family members. In all honesty, I did expect this one to win, but I was looking forward to the killer whale. This one here was like my second vote, or at least my third. I was really having a hard time deciding whether I wanted to put this first or second because I do find underwater breeding to be hard. But if we do get Genesis Part 2 voting, I think the Orca can make it. But in all honesty, I think this guy right here, the giant hermit crab, was the second place winner. And I agree with it. I agree with the second place here. I also like to take a time and tell these ARK people, these ARK creators, that their hard work is appreciated. Their artwork is appreciated. Their artwork is loved. All right. These guys are amazing. The creativity with how some of these tames were. I think the only one I didn't like was the Bahadasaurus because I did not want another Amargasaurus. I don't even tame the Amargasaurus because it actually has some of the most problematic tames of all time. But the hermit crab was such a good. Oh my gosh, it was so close. This guy almost won it, but the Shastasaurus just squeezed it out. And I mean, look at the abilities this thing has here. It has a a back club or this knockback with its shell. It can also throw its shell or at least launch itself in its shell at its opponents, kind of like a rollout ability from Dolphin from Pokemon. And it's immune to stuns. I could take this into the swamps and not get stunned by a Baryonyx. Or into the redwoods and not get stunned by a Baryonyx, but you guys get the point. Either way, I'm winning. And the best part about this is this thing had so many forms, so many ways to tame. You had to crack its shell open and help it fix it after a certain point. And then I think another creature that was on the list and actually got third place this time was the Nothosaurus, which again was kind of expected, but again, I think people really did want another aquatic creature. I think if someone put the Tylosaurus on there, it might have just beaten out the Shastasaurus, but the Shastasaurus was just perfect. But let's also talk about something else, the extinction map. The reason why is because this is one of the few maps that you're gonna have to vote. We're gonna have to vote for. And the thing is, whatever creature submissions y'all put in, please think about it. I do think y'all need to think about these, creatures a bit more because it has to do with the environment. Remember, most of us do build within the Metal City because it's a lot safer. I do think some people build in the desert as well because it's a much simpler environment. But needless to say here, you guys get my point. Extinction is a biome where you have to deal with a lot of creatures all just thrown in there into one area. And then you also have this area. I think I call it the element forest because it just kind of suits it. But remember, no, sorry, not remember. I think this would actually be a good map for mammals. I think that if the art community can pull together and bring in another sea creature, we could bring in another mammal. I would love to see a I would love to see another mammal creature, okay? Because Ark does not have enough mammal diversity. It does have its fair share of species diversity, but severely lacks when it comes to its mammal diversity. And I also encourage y'all to make your designs a little bit more alienish, because let's be real here, the creatures here are basically like irradiated in mutations. Maybe you guys could put, your own miniature Godzilla in, but like, make it like, not so obvious that it's basically a miniature Godzilla, or Zilla, I should say, honestly, because it's irradiated creatures here. But again, you do have an environment where these alien or these evolved animals are there. Plus, I need y'all to think about the element harvesting and the corrupted creature killing. I think that a herbivore with a fear ability would actually do great. I think the Civatherium could also make a triumphant return here, and maybe, just maybe, win a poll here. Now, I do know that the Civic Theorem was on multiple maps here and almost won a couple of them, such as the Scorched Earth one. But again, I do think that another mammal would be good. Maybe we could also get the Dinotherium in here. I mean, another mammoth or a boss level herbivore or boss level mammal would be great here. Having the trumpet roar of both male and female, having different diverse roars and everything, it would actually go a long way in this game as well. Plus, again, you have to think about the raids. Maybe you guys could have a creature that could rally other creatures, like the Dinocruta or Dinocrocruta, and it was another cat that lived with it. I think it was. I'm probably gonna get this name wrong, but I think it was Machiondris or Macamita. It was another. It was like a saber tooth like cat that lived in Africa along with it. I think it was the ancestor of the leopards. I do think Dinophilus would be good, especially if it's for something like, scaling the city, moving the environment, because you have to remember that you guys are going to be we were more or less going to be in the metal city rather than being out in the desert all the time, unless it comes to raids. I also think that if we're going to pick dinosaurs again, make sure that the herbivore or carnivore is suited for that specific environment. I need y'all to think it through. For example, you got Edmontonia, who is a battering ram, bleed dealing, bone breaking, element harvesting herbivore, or the Shuntongosaurus, the Tyrannosaurus sized or bigger than the Tyrannosaurus sized Hadrosaur, and maybe the Dinochirus. I'm just saying. It is about time. It's getting more and more popularity as pretty much dinosaur series go on. This creature is becoming more popular. Also, again, be sure to look out for the Ark Editions collection version, which will be coming out very soon. I mean, I love the design, love the look, and love the details, honestly. And I think that with this creature, you could make the solid argument that you could possibly win a lot of these element raids as well. Defend the elements and then have it harvested. Also, the Myvurica could make a return in this one. For the creator who made the Myvurica, I do love this. I actually voted for this to be my top tier pick for Aberration because, again, it's a beautiful creature. And I think it would be perfect for extinction, especially when it comes to like scaling the walls of the metal city, or at least the city and stuff. It could definitely be a good way to slow down creatures. It could be a good way to harvest and run. I also think the Ornithmegalonyx as well could have done pretty good. I also think that having it there with the snow owl being kind of like the desert version of it would have absolutely sold for extinction, or at least sold for this environment. Having the snow owl and the Ornithmegalonyx side by side would have been great. But in all honesty, the Shastasaurus for the center was the best choice possible. Honestly, if it didn't win it here, it definitely would have won Genesis Part 2 because people love the ocean environment in Genesis. I think an X variant of that would have sold, it would have made bank for Ark in Genesis Part 2. But hey, that's going to be all for today, you guys. Let me know what you guys think down below about the Shastasaurus. And let me know what your pick for extinction would be if you made your own creature and what its abilities would be. I would love to hear this from you guys. Be sure to comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace.